Robert, these two tools right. I'm going to go ahead and get
Okay.
to these.
What are those?
I kind of went to some. I want to go back to these.
Okay.
The Add this XY Go to XY,
Mm-hmm.
pretty powerful tool. It was actually requested by surveyors.
Right.
People wanted to plot at one point just really quick. Let's say somebody calls, hey, can you plot this point and show me where it's at? Is it in a creek or a ditch or somebody's house? We saw that every once in a while in the oil and gas business.
Right.
You know, point show up whether you want to drill a well in the middle of a highway. You know.
Right. Many times in the middle of creeks.
Yeah. They're looking at geological data. They're not
That's right.
necessarily looking at surface data. I'm going to go ahead and click the Go to XY. I'm going to bring up the little interface and I'm going to go ahead and make sure my units are in feet. You can plot a lat long or in degrees, minutes, and seconds, or decimal degrees. I'm in feet. I'm just going to look at the bottom of the screen there. You can see a big number. An X and a Y. I'm going to go ahead and key those in. 1, 3, 4, 8, 32, and we can use the decimal. I say 0.7, and then my Y is going to be 1, 7, 1, 5, 2, 3, 3, 2. We'll say 0.19, and then hit enter. You can just
there
see that.
It is.
There it is. I can hit that flash button. You see, it's just flashing. It's not putting a graphic there. It's not putting anything there.
But you can put a graphic. You can do a lot.
You can do a zoom to or pan to. I can hit this add call out box,
which is going to actually annotate the coordinate. Correct. There you go.
The coordinate and then you can actually hit the add a point. It'll put a point there. I can actually click on that annotation or double click it and add some text like Y equals X equals. I can hit enter in front of there and give it a little title. Point. Click OK. And now I've closed this out. Now I've got a little sample point that I use with that toolbar. Really powerful. You're working lat long, you're working decimal degrees, you can key them in that way. Or working the state plane coordinates, and actually we're able to key one in. We could print a map, send this to somebody, and we can actually use our little pointer tool, which is, like Robert says, basically stops all tools that are any tool that's
it's kind of like if something's going on, if you're clicking on a command and it's not working, then go touch the black arrow, then touch it. That's just something
and
I
also
learned.
When you have a graphic like this, you want to use that tool to select. I'm just going to click. I'm zooming, and you can see these things kind of highlighted here. I can hit the delete key and get them off my map. So the measure tool, which I think is really cool, allows you to, just like it says, measure, and I can actually go and click that tool, and you're going to get another little interface here, and we're going to measure using a line, and I want to maybe snap, use this little snap tool here, and we're going to make sure, we're going to actually click here, make sure our distance units are, let's see, they're in meters here. I'm going to set them to feet, and it'll actually snap to that point, and I can maybe drag all the way over here and just snap to that one. Just double click there, and that segment right there with 1,075 feet, which I know is correct, we're in feet, and that's about the distance there. So it's a really powerful tool, Rob. You can measure in meters, feet. You can actually measure an area. Let's say we're doing some. You'll see the segment, the perimeter, and the area. In square meters. You can see the area. The area units were still in meters. I can set it to miles or acres or feet. Go ahead and set it to feet. And do this again. So now we have 131,000 square feet. almost 132,000, and it gives you the perimeter and the last segment distance. Just wanted to go ahead and go over those two tools real quick. I know I can kind of skip them, and they're really powerful. You will use those. We use them all the time. So now I'm going to go ahead and zoom back to this area here. One thing as a surveyor, Rob, I know I've been for a long time, and one thing we do, we've always done is put our jobs on grid, and we've always used the NGS control data. You can pull shape files off there, and I think that's demonstrated in one of the other steps. How to pull the NGS up.
Step 2, georeferencing.
On the georeferencing, I'm going to go ahead and add a NGS shapefile to this.
Okay.
I'm going to hit the add data, and I know we have these downloaded already since we use them. Our base data here. So we should have an NGS folder. Basis County, here it is. And this is actually NAT83 Horn, which is it's a NAT83, but it's actually in Horn. I'm not going to change the data frame since we are working in NAT83 already. And I'm going to go ahead and right click on this NGS layer, say zoom to layer. And there you go. Those are all the NGS monuments that may or may not be there. We've known by using these, sometimes these monuments are not there. But those are the ones that are documented as existing.
Wow.
I'm going to right click and open attribute table, and you can see it's very extensive. A very extensive database of information associated with just this county. And there you go, last condition, mark not found, mark not for good. And even those, some of them may be outdated, not until you actually go out and look for one where you know it's actually there.
Mm-hmm.
And one field that's really key in here, really important that we've used, is this data source. It's abbreviated, but it's a data source.
Mm-hmm.
That's the link that's going to allow us to go pull the data sheet from the internet, right from ArcOVERVIEw.
The current data sheet.
That's right. So I'm going to go ahead and close that out, and I'm going to right click on this layer, go down to the properties. Now the properties isn't showing up, Robert. You can right click and do this. Usually there's a properties.
It's usually at the bottom. Yeah.
You're going to go to the display tab, and there's a hyperlink here, and it's not checked. I'm going to go ahead and check it, and it's asking what field is your hyperlink field, and I know it's a data source. It's right there, and it's a URL. I'm going and telling it it's a URL. It's not a document. I'm going to go hit the internet and click OK, and let me change it. I'm going to go ahead and change the symbol just as we did last time. The reason I changed it because I want you to be able to see it. It's kind of big.
Okay.
Make it a bit smaller here. And I'm doing this for a visual effect so you can actually see the points light up when I hit this hyperlink button. I hit the hyperlink button. They're all lit up. Every one of these NGS monuments, NGS points has a web address to the data sheet. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to go ahead and zoom last year back to close to where we were. And maybe come out just a bit so we can find one. Go to 24,000 here. There's some here at this highway here at the South Padre Island Drive. And I just clicked one of those points there. And there is an NGS data sheet.
Yeah, with today's date.
Has today's November 2nd, 2009. It's the retrieval date there. And much of this information that's in here is in the actual shapefile in that attribute table, Robert, that I showed. Some of these large descriptions may not be in there, but by pulling the data sheet, you can bring it up on the screen, print it, maybe print it to PDF, and save it with your project.
Okay.
So every one of them NGS monuments has a link to a
current data sheet.
Yep.